sixth canto, where sixth canto is mainly described as Poshanam. So, Poshanam means the Lord maintains his devotees. The Lord maintains his devotees. That is Poshanam. Poshanam tad anugraha means Lord always he is merciful for his devotees. So even if sometimes devotees commit some mistakes, still Lord maintains them. That is also one of the understanding. So there are several pastimes in sixth canto, which is like first three chapters deal with Ajamil pastime, and then there is a pastime of Daksha, little bit Daksha's sons and Narada Muni, and then there is a pastime of Indra being cursed, like the Chitraketu and the Vritrasur, that pastimes will come, Diti pastime will come. So in all of the pastimes, there are devotees like Ajamil or Indra or Vritrasur or Diti. So who are like sometimes they commit mistake, but still the Lord maintains them. They shows his mercy to them. So that is also another thing that we can see. So here the history and life of Ajamil will be covered in first three chapters. I think you would have read some of this section that we will cover. So like previously, it was previously the hellish planets. There is a huge description of the hells in the last chapter of fifth canto. So Shukadeva Goswami heard those descriptions of the hells. So while hearing that, when he heard all those descriptions of the hell, he was like a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava is like very, his heart is like very compassionate. So he was wondering how can all the people who are suffering in hell, can they be relieved of that suffering? So therefore, he started asking questions to Shukadeva Goswami so that he wanted to relieve all the people from the suffering of the hells. So if you remember, if you read the description of the hell, they are like very ghastly, based on the amount of sin one commits, one will suffer there. And these are not like imaginary or mythology, just not just to scare some people so that they will do they will not they will be afraid of doing any wrong thing, but these are like physical health. As we have seen in the cosmology section, everything is like situated properly, and there are some people we have seen Yamadutas also, so they have reported the cases, and so many other things are also there. So so it's not like some fictitious thing which is like to scare people not to commit sinful activities. These are all these are actually there. So Parikshit Mara, knowing that how people are suffering in that else, he wanted to relieve all of them. So therefore he started asking questions. So before asking that question, so he is saying that what are all the things that Shukadeva Goswami has spoken till now. So he's saying that you have nicely explained the path of liberation, Nivritti Marga, and also the means basically the yogis in the second canto, how they take the path of yoga and they attain Brahmaloka. So that path, that path you have spoken. And also you have also spoken about the Pravritti Lakshana, means there are two margas in this world. That is like one is Nivritti Marga and another is Pravritti Marga. Nivritti Marga is like kind of path of detachment, which the yogis, jnanis, they practice. Pravritti Marga is like kind of path of enjoyment, where all the people in this world in general, they they work in the world and at the same time they try to perform some karmas. So based on the modes, they acquire different destinations. So based on the three modes, they will attain different destinations and different bodies based on their inclinations. So based on that, they suffer or enjoy. So in this way, based on the three modes, they will attain. So this Pravritti Marga also you have explained. And you also explained different varieties of hellish life based on if some people commit adharma or sinful activity, they undergo these hellish life. And also you have described about Manvantara, first Manvantara, Swayambhu Manu, how he performed different activities. And also their Swayambhu Manu's sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada, their dynasties you have very elaborately described. We have seen that third canto, fourth canto, they're all the dynasties of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. And the Lord, He has created so many varieties of planetary systems, universe, planets and stars, seas, mountains, rivers, gardens, and trees. So all these different characteristics also you have explained. Like fifth canto ending, we have seen how universe is situated differently. And so different people, based on their mentality, different people live in various planets according to their modes. That also you have explained. So then finally he is asking how these people who are suffering in these hells, how can they be saved from those terrible pains? So now he is like basically the purpose in which he has mentioned all what are all the things that he has learned, that his purpose is to ask this question. So basically, Vaishnava is said to be Paradukha Dukhi. Paradukha Dukhi means seeing others' distress, he will feel distress. And also he is Parasukha Sukhi. That means seeing others' happiness, he will also feel happiness. So in general, like in general, the maybe the envious people are that that mentality is like maybe parasukha dukhi and paras dukkha sukhi. Like where if some people, other people are suffering, they may take pleasure, or other people are enjoying, they may become envious. Or this tendency may be there to some extent. So, but the true Vaishnava, a true devotee of the Lord who has developed love for the Lord, is always having, he should always develop this quality of seeing distress in others. Seeing that others are seeing, one will also feel troubles. In fact, this is the only, like a true Vaishnava, only suffering he experiences is this kind of mental suffering. And kind of maybe they may sometimes feel that, oh, how people are suffering. In fact, next on May 22nd, we are celebrating Narsimha Chaturdashi. So, Narsimha Chaturdashi, Narsimha appearance, where like Narsimha appeared to relieve the sufferings of Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj, he wonderfully offers prayers where he expresses that I don't have any I don't have any problems in this world because I simply engage in your glories, in your devotional service, and I relish, therefore, and I don't fear crossing this material world. My only worry is that how these people who are like completely engaged with Maya Sukha. Maya Sukha means temporary happiness without devotional service. I know definitely they are suffering, and only true happiness is devotional service. So, therefore, I am worried about how others can be relieved. So, that is a actually problem faced by Vaishnava. So, therefore, if you see, if you remember Parikshit Maharaj is about to die within 3 4 days. Right? He is like 7 days. He has to live, and he is hearing Bhagavatam to relieve from that suffering. So he is about to die in 4 5 days, but still he is concerned that how people can be saved from these hells. So in this way, like we can see the nature of Parikshit Maharaj, that always thinking how to deliver the world from sufferings. So, so now, so like in order to answer Parikshit Maharaj, first Shukadeva Goswami, he says how to relieve people from the suffering of sinful activities, going to hell. What he says is that so in this world, people generally perform sometimes the impious activities, adharmic activities. So before death, if they perform atonements, prashchitta, apachitim, these are the different words used. So if they perform these atonements, then which are prescribed in different dharma shastras or manu samhitas and uh, other places. So therefore, before going to hell, they they will be saved from going to hells. This I have already told you, like that he mentioned. So what is this concept of atonement? So atonement means, so basically if some person he has performed some wrong activity, adharma, so immediately he will not receive the reaction. If you see, if people who commit mistakes, we don't see in this world immediately being punished. So there is a some time gap that is given. So that is because there is a concept of atonement or feeling prashchitta or feeling remorse for the sinful activity that one has committed. So there is some chance is given for that entity to rectify. So if that person, if he understands that he has committed some mistake and therefore he was feeling guilty and he was he wanted to get rid of that reaction, so therefore he was recommended to perform some atonement. Prayaschitta means self-imprisoned, self-imposed austerity. Generally, what punishment does? Punishment means it will make you suffer. So prayaschitta means self-imposed suffering, kind of. So it is like austerity generally involves some fasting or giving. So all those things, some vratas and all those things, which will like kind of self-imposed suffering for the thing, wrong thing that he has done. So when he himself is punishing himself, so then the punishment given by the nature or law of karma or the maya or the government agencies or the Lord's agencies, that will be less. So therefore, if he performs those atonements, then he will not go to hell. But on the other hand, if a person before dying, whatever wrong things that he has done with his mind, words, and body, if they are not contracted properly, so then he will definitely enter into these hellish planets and terrible suffering he will undergo based on the activities according to the amount of sinful activities that he has done. So in this way, he has told, therefore, before giving up one body, as long as that body is strong, one should quickly perform prayaschitta, which is prescribed in the Shastras. Otherwise, once the time is lost, all the sinful reactions that he has done previously, those will increase. And um, so, how much atonement he should perform? So, based on the amount of sinful activity, that amount of atonement he should undergo. So, based on one's severity. So, like that, all the Dharma Shastras, Mani Samhita, etc., these are all the law books kind of. We know in government also we have this law, right? Anyone who violates that law, he will be punished and he will be put in jail. And in the jail, if he kind of behaves properly and asks for some petition, sometimes we see that there is a punishment will be lowered. He may be released early also. So in this way, the jail system also weak. Similarly, as this mundane government, this world's government works, similarly, there is a universal government where people are punished based on their sins. So if the sin is strong, they have to atone for a strong. For example, a physician, a person has some disease. So based on the amount of severity of that disease, the dosage of the medicine will be decided based on the based on the by that person will decide, that doctor will decide. So similarly, the Shastras, they describe that amount of sin, greater amount of sin, one needs to perform greater amount of atonement. For smaller sins, one needs to perform smaller sins. So in this way, these activities are described in Shastras. So like that, Shukadeva Goswami has replied for the question that how people can get rid of these sufferings. So hearing that, Parikshit Maharaj, he kinds of put forward a question. So this is like very nice question. He says, दृष्टश्रुताभ्यां यत्पापं जानन्नपि आत्मनो हितं करोति भूयः विवशः प्रायश्चित्तमतो कथम्. He says that uh, दृष्टश्रुताभ्यां यत् papam janannapi atmano hitam. People in general, a person, he sees that when one some commits some papa, he will be punished, and he also hears shrutabhyam shruti. So, but still he knows, but he hears that if I commit this sinful activity, I will be punished. Janan api means he knows that by this sin I will be punished. And he also knows that it is atmano hitam, for his own good. It is very ahitam, it is very injurious, it is not good. But still, karoti bhuyaha vivasha, still he performs that wrong activity. Vivasha, because he is not able to control himself. So therefore, prashchitta madokatam. So what is the value of then that prashchitta? So atonement is, what use of that atonement is there? So here, Parikshit Maharaj is kind of asking that. So in general, you are mentioning that atonement one should do, then he will be get rid of these sinful reactions. But we see in this world, a thief, for example, a thief is there. Thief knows that if he does some thievery, he will be punished by police and he will be put in jail. But still, the thief, even after knowing that, he will not be able to control himself and still performs that thievery. So, therefore, and he will be punished in the jail. So, after jail, after experiencing that punishment, he will be released again. So, now that he has committed some thievery and he went to jail and he was punished and he came back, but will he refrain himself from committing thievery again? To some extent, he may try, but in general, often we see that he will again commit the same mistake, same thievery again, sometimes. So that is because his heart is not yet cleansed. So although he knows, although he experienced that committing mistake, he was like he will be punished. But karoti bhuyaha vivasho. Again, he performed the same activity without any because it is out of his control. So therefore, what is the use of this prayashchitta? So then again, one more example he gives. Kwachin nivartate abhadrat. So sometimes people, they know that this is bad activity, I should refrain myself. So therefore, sometimes they refrain themselves from that sinful activity. Kwachit charati tatpunah. But it's not that they will be able to refrain from that self from every time. They will again engage in that activity. So therefore, prayashchitta mato apartam. So even if they perform prayashchitta, they will again perform that activity. So therefore, prayashchittam is like apartam. What is the use of that prayashchitta? Again, they are doing the same wrong activity. I consider it to be manye kunjara shauchavat. I consider it will be like an bathing of an elephant, right? So elephant, he goes to a nice river or nice waterfall. He takes his bath there. So after going there, after taking bath, it will come back. Again, after coming, it will take some dust and smears on this body. So atonement, his Parikshit Maharaj is comparing atonement to this. People perform sinful activity, go to some temple or go to some church. They say that I have committed this mistake and they atone for by doing some vrata or some austerity. And again, after some time, they will again commit the sin. So this is like a cycle. So what is the use of this prayaschitta? So like that he is asking. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj is actually rejecting the prayaschitta that is mentioned in the Dharma Shastras, atonement, because that sinful tendency is not cleansed. We know this practical experience, right? In every New Year, January 1st, or birthday time, or some other occasion, people take from now onwards, I will not drink, or I will not do some such and such bad activity. 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, some occasion will come. Immediately again they will fall back to their bad habit. Why? Is it that they don't know that that activity will result in some sin? No, actually, even after knowing that, they will not be able to restrain because that sinful tendency is not yet cleansed from the heart. Just by making some intelligent decision, intelligently thinking that I will not do, that may not always help. That will not help because heart is not cleansed. That sinful enjoyment tendency, that tendency is there within. So therefore, unless the tendency is removed, there is again every chance of committing that activity again. So, but it's not like completely rejected. It's not like there is no such use for atonement, but the process is very, very slow. It's like it will not cleanse immediately. So people will again and again commit that mistake. So definitely some remorse, some prayaschitta, some this thing is always good rather than not having anything. But this karma kanda prayaschitta, that karma kanda means the whatever the karma prayaschitta means the atonement means generally in general which are like karma kandic activities, some vows like that. It's not referring to direct devotional service. So therefore, that is like very little purification is very less compared to other devotional service. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is like kind of rejecting that atonement. So he's comparing it like an elephant bath. So then, Sukadeva Goswami, he kind of acknowledges what the Parikshit Maharaj said. Yes, correct. Hmm. Prayashchittam is actually that some karma will not remove that immediate that tendency. So therefore, mm, in order to say that it will not remove, he says that karmana karma nidharo nahi atyantika ishyate. So this just by doing some other fruitive activity, contracting some fruitive activity is not actually final. Nahi atyantika ishyate. Because the tendency to commit wrong activity is there in the heart. Avidvad adhikaritva, because of avidya, that soul is identifying with the body. So therefore, because of that avidya, he will commit mistake again. So therefore, real atonement is actually coming to knowledge. Prayashchittam vimarshanam. Vimarshanam means full like kind of developing kind of knowledge. So prayashchittam vimarshanam, generally there are like he mentions how to like because of ignorance people are uh, committing a wrong activity. So therefore, if that ignorance is removed, then actually that they will not perform those impious acts, and the impious acts will not be uh, atoned by the karmic activities. Therefore, real atonement is actually knowledge. So like that he says. Then he says some of the uh, like how what are those processes of knowledge that one can cultivate. नाश्नतः पथ्यम् एवान्नं व्याधयो अभिभवन्ति हि एवं नियमकृत राजन् शनैः क्षेमाय कल्पते. Means for example, a person is deceased, but if he is eating suitable food, patyam is also some Telugu word, like they follow some dietary regulations. Regularly, if they are following suitable food, that person will not become deceased. So all the vyadis will go away. So therefore, in this way, if a person with rules and regulations follows these regulative principles, he will be slowly situated in welfare, in his nice position. He will not be fall into that hells. So like that, he is mentioning. So in that, what are the different ways that he is mentioning? Tapasa by performing tapasya, brahmacharyena by following brahmacharya rules, shamena means controlling the mind, damena is controlling the senses, tyagena by doing some uh, tyaga is giving up some things or doing some charity. Satya Shauchabhyam, always speaking truth, and Shaucha, we are following the cleanliness principles. Yamena, by following some rules like not doing some violence and other things. Niyamena, by following some regulative principles like taking bath and other things. Dehavag, in this way, by following all those things, what are all the things that one commits through Dehavag Buddhism? With body, mind, words, all those things, agam, that sinful activity, the wise people who knows dharma, who has that faith, dhira, dharmajna, shraddhayanvita, who has that faith and who has that, who knows dharma, they destroy all the agam, sin, very easily, even if it is very great sin. Just like he gives the example of Venugulmam Ivanalaha. Venugulmam Ivanalaha ante means the like there is a Venugulmam means it is like a forest of sugarcane. Forest of sugarcane that are forest of bamboo tree. If that is lit fire by fire, then there is like then there will be no more like the entire land will be cleared, so therefore he will be free. So like that he gives. So here this is like he is now kind of proposing what is called as jnana kanda. So this is called as jnana section. He's saying by performing this like jnana, where contemplating oneself, tapasa, brahmacharya, and all these rules, he will be able to come out of this wrong tendencies. So like that he is mentioning. So like even after he mentioned about this thing, so if suppose fire destroying bamboo, what will happen? The bamboo will be like, you know, on the surface, everything will be cleared. But still, when the rain comes, what will happen? Again, there may be some seeds inside the ground, and again, those seeds can grow. So, therefore, even after practicing this jnana, there are chances that again, that seeds which are there in the root of our heart, that sinful tendencies, if someone is not careful and if he is associating with the modes of ignorance and passion, again those sinful tendencies can come up. So, so therefore, Parikshit Maharaj did not even approve this process also, knowledge, because therefore he was not dissatisfied. Seeing that Parikshit Maharaj was dissatisfied with this answer also, Shukadeva Goswami then started speaking about the real process, real solution. So, so that he mentions in the next shloka. So here you see the progress. First he mentioned about the Karmakanda Prayashchitta. And Parikshit Maharaj directly rejected. It is not of no use because again that sin he will commit. Then he mentioned about the Jnana Kanda where you perform austerity, brahmacharya, and you perform the rules, samena, control your mind, control your senses, always speak truthful, be regulative, be cleanliness, and follow yama, niyama, rules, regulations. In this way, slowly by your whatever whatever the things, sinful activities you have committed, that will be slowly cleansed. So still, Parikshit Maharaj was not satisfied. So because again those sinful tendencies, although temporarily till the time he may practice, they may go, but sometimes when he is not careful, again he may again come in touch with the modes, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, and then again he may commit mistakes. So therefore there is a chance that again he may commit. So therefore, seeing that dissatisfied face of Parikshit, then Shukadeva Goswami he started speaking. So there is comparison between last two processes, karma and jnana. So karma is like fruitive activity, which are described in scriptures. So uh, even though karma he has performed fruitive activity, sometimes uh, he may he will again the tendency is not heart is not cleansed. So again there is every chance of falling into hellish condition. But by jnana is like understanding this world, everything by slowly learning knowledge. So he will dharmajna, he will know what is simple activity, what is pious activity. So he will cautiously start acting. But still the modes are so strong. So therefore, because and there is in jnana, actually the soul is always hankering for some happiness. So that soul happiness will come from bhakti. But since in jnana there is little bhakti and more jnana kind of rejecting, I don't want this, I don't want this, or I will do tapasya, I will do brahmacharya. So I will control my senses, I will control my mind. But there is no positive engagement of bhakti. So therefore, that soul is always hankering for happiness. So, and through control, always that happiness tendency may not fulfilled by that controlling. So there are chances that when you come in touch with the modes, lower modes, Rajogana and Tamogana, he has chances of again falling down because he is not relishing bhakti, not relishing the shelter of lotus feet of the Lord. So one may think himself liberated, but again he may fall down to material activities. So but there is gradual purification in the jnana. So slowly he may come out of hellish life. Slowly he may get purified, but there are chances that he will again fall back into those activities. So therefore, jnana is also not appreciated by Parikshit Maharaj. So there, because he is Parikshit Maharaj still dissatisfied, Shukadeva Goswami now is saying the process of bhakti that one should follow. By this bhakti, actually one will be uh, really uplifted. So now he is establishing the glory of bhakti. केचित् केवलया भक्त्या वासुदेव परायणाः अघं धुन्वन्ति कार्ष्णेन निहारम् इव भास्करः निहारम् इव भास्करः. So niharam means fog. So fog, initially when fog is there, we will not be able to see the objects clearly. So, but when Bhaskara, the sun, has risen in the sky, so then that slowly that fog will be dissipated. So similarly, Kechit, some people, Kevalaya Bhaktya, by the Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti means pure unalloyed devotional service. That means they don't have any other desires to attain through performance of bhakti. Kechit, who are the Vasudeva Parayana, the people who are surrendered to Vasudeva. These people, through the practice of Kevala Bhakti, means completely for the Bhakti, which is like for the pleasure of the Lord, by that Bhakti, they will completely cleanse their heart. Agam Dunvanti Karsnena. Completely. Karsnena means completely, they will cleanse their heart so that again those sinful desires will not come back. So Niharam Iva Bhaskara, just like fog will be dissipated by Bhaskara. So here he is clearly establishing the glory of devotional service. Here clearly he was establishing the glory of devotional service. So previously, two examples, two analogies are given. One is like elephant taking bath, and another is bamboo tree burned to fire by ashes to by a fire, but still sometimes they may come back. So therefore, heart is not completely purified. It is also said that this jnana without devotional service, it is only troublesome. It is like very, very difficult to practice, very troublesome for the practitioner. So, but the bhakti, on the other hand, if one practices bhakti, it was mentioned that bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktiranyatra cha risha eka kalaha prapadyamanasa yatashnudu. Just like if someone starts eating food, three things will automatically happen. What are the three things that will happen? Tushti, Pushti, Kshudapaya. Kshudapaya means one is hungry. At that time when he is eating, all his hunger will be slowly go away. And while eating also, he relishes the food. Taste of the food he can relish. And also simultaneously while after eating, that food nourishes his body. So therefore, three things are simultaneously happening if one is eating the food. One is tushti. Tushti means he is getting satisfaction from eating because of the taste of that food. Pushti, his body is getting nourished. And kshudapaya, his hunger, which is like giving suffering, that is getting mitigated. Similarly, by practicing bhakti, three things will simultaneously will happen. Bhakti, one's devotion will increase by practicing bhakti. Pareshanubhava, the Lord's presence in one's life will increase. And virakti towards all other things which are not connected to Krishna consciousness will be, one will develop. So these three things will automatically develop by practicing bhakti. So if one is practicing seriously bhakti, one should understand how his bhakti is increasing, how the presence of the Lord he is able to feel in his life. So seeing the hand of the Lord in different situations, how he is able to see, and how much detachment he is developing from things not related to Krishna. So these three things are the parameter how one is kind of progressing in bhakti. So these three things will also happen simultaneously if one is practicing bhakti. So therefore, if one simply performs bhakti, that is enough. By that, automatically jnana, vairagya will come, and all other things which are required from him, those are also Lord will arrange. So therefore, bhakti is the glorious process that here mentioned. And also here, if you see, he used the word kechit. Kechit means some people. So it's not that everyone will practice bhakti. In Bhagavad Gita, if you see, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhaye Yatatanampi Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tattvadah. Out of thousands of people, only few will try to attain me. And even very people, thousands of people who are attempting, only few know me. So by that we can understand that only few people actually try to practice bhakti. So, and practically, because no one knows the glory of bhakti or no one knows the glory of Krishna, so therefore it is very few people. So therefore it is mentioned that only few people catch it. Kevala, by their Kevala Bhakti means Bhakti performing Lord only for the pleasure of the Lord without any ulterior desires, who are like Vasudeva Parayana, who are like completely surrendered to Vasudeva. They Agam Dunvanti Kasna, they completely uh, remove their sin. So in this way, so why this bhakti is able to purify more than even jnana also or karma. Anyway, we know it is more powerful than karma. Even it is more powerful than jnana also. Why? That is because by nature, the original nature of soul is to enjoy, or original nature of the soul is to take pleasure in serving the Lord. So that is the original nature. So by bhakti, directly that process is getting started. So the original nature of the soul to serve the Lord, that process itself is getting started. So therefore, that bhakti has the power to remove all the other tendencies of committing sins. So therefore, bhakti is more highly glorified. So all the sinful tendencies, it was mentioned, there are like in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is a scripture, nice scripture, where it analyzes the capacity of bhakti. In general, people perform sinful activities for three reasons. Or there are like three categories. One is like karma, sinful acts when they perform that will generate reactions, and avidya, kama, karmajam. Like the bija, the sinful tendency is there in the heart, that bija. So that will actually make one commit sinful activity. And why that sinful tendency is there? That is there because of avidya, ignorance. So these are the three components: avidya, bija, or kota, or sinful tendency. Avidya means ignorance. Because of ignorance, there is a desire to commit sin, and there is actually the committing of sin, that karma, sin, papa. So these are the three things that are there. So bhakti, by practicing bhakti, these it removes the sinful reactions. Prayashchitta, what it will do? Prayashchitta will only remove the sinful reactions. So therefore, there is a bija, sinful tendency, and avidya. These two will be still there. So therefore, even after performing prayashchitta, he will again commit that mistake. But and the jnana may remove that sinful tendency to some extent, but it may not completely remove that avidya. And so therefore, there is a chance of again committing mistake. But bhakti, it will remove both the sinful tendency, the sinful reaction that one perform, and it will also remove the bija which is there in the heart, the sinful tendency, and it also removes avidya, the root cause by which one performs all these sinful activities. So bhakti has this power to remove all these things. That's why bhakti, if the process of bhakti, Uttama bhakti, it was mentioned that it is like kleshagni shubhada. Kleshagni, kleshagni means all the sufferings that one experiences in this world because of these sinful tendencies. So bhakti will remove all those sinful tendencies and all the sinful reactions also, and the avidya, which is the root cause of all these things. So therefore, bhakti has the power to remove sufferings in the material world for the people. So therefore, it is called as Kleshagni. One more characteristic of bhakti that is mentioned is Shubhada. Shubhada means it generates so much auspiciousness in the life of practitioners. So life of all good fortune means it's like a kind of all the good fortune means all the good qualities will start developing in that person, and also the whole world will become dear to that person, and the whole world will the everyone loves him, and he loves everyone. So that is like two more characteristics of Shubhada. So in this way, the bhakti is kind of glorified. It has the capacity to destroy the sins um, to the root. So that is the glory of the bhakti that was mentioned. And he says, so this is the prayer of Brahmaji to Krishna. He says that if someone practices jnana but he doesn't practice bhakti, then for him there is only some wastage of effort. श्रेयस्रुतिं भक्तिमुदस्य ते विभो क्लिश्यन्ति ये केवलबोधलब्धये तेषामसौ क्लेशलयेव शेष्यते नान्यत् यथा स्थूलतुषावघातिनाम्. So like there is a like there is a harvest, right? The rice paddy harvest is there. So what they do first, they will get what is called as dhanya, right? So dhanya, previous ages, the dhanya they will take and then they will kind of bash it in the rock so that the rice will be removed from that dhanya, and that rice will be used for cooking. So if someone has already removed that rice and that remaining rice is removed and only that remaining portion is there, and if someone takes that that thing and again starts beating, will he get rice? Rice? He will not get anything. So beating empty husk, that is example that is used. So if someone rejects auspicious bhakti, Shreya Sritim Bhaktim, the auspicious path of bhakti, if someone has rejected and he only klishyantiye kevala bodhalapte, he is only struggling to attain some knowledge, which is like klishyanti, very troublesome. So what gain he will gain? He will only gain tesham also kleshalayava shishyate. For them, the only thing that remains with them is troublesome process. So if someone is rejecting bhakti, so therefore Lord Brahma is saying to Krishna this verse that without bhakti even jnana, only jnana will not be appreciated. So therefore it is only troublesome, only trouble will remain for them. So this bhakti by practicing, one will experience detachment, devotion, relief from hunger, nourishment, satisfaction, all these things. And also there is some shloka that Krishna says, what is the advantage of practicing bhakti? He says that Yathagni susamruddharchi karoti edamsi basmasat. Just like Agni, blazing fire, it turns the uh, it turns the blazing firewood into ashes. Similarly, by performing bhakti towards me, tada madvishya bhakti, uddavainamsi kritnasha, all the sins they will be turned into ashes. All the burnt sins to ashes. So in this way, so Krishna is saying the bhakti will definitely turn all the sins into ashes. So like that he is saying. This also we can understand that Mother Devahuti previously said that even if a dog eater, swadopi sadhya savanaya kalpate, even if a person is born in a dog eating family, still when he performs bhakti, immediately he will become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. Yennamadaya Shravananukirtana. If the Lord name is so glorious that persons, if someone starts hearing and glorifying that Lord, yet prafanad, yes maranad, by worshipping, by remembering that Lord, Swadopi, even if it's a dog eater family, still Satya, immediately he will become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. What to speak of seeing you, O Lord, like that she is saying. That means this is the glory of bhakti he is mentioning. So in this way, there are different types of bhakti that are mentioned. So therefore, what Sukadev Goswami is mentioning is that this bhakti is the best process for atonement. So Natatahi is saying that Natatahi Agwan Rajan Puyeta Tapadivi Yata Krishnarpita Pranas Tat Purusha Nishevya. So a person, a sinful person, he will be uh, he will be the way he will get purified by serving devotees or by serving the Lord. That like uh, that person, that complete purification with no other method one can attain. So especially it was mentioned Tat Purusha Nishevaya. Tat Purusha Nishevaya means the engaging in the service to the devotees of the Lord who are dedicated their life for the Lord. Natatahi Agavan Rajan Puyeta Tapadibhi. Other processes like tapasya, penance, brahmacharya, which are mentioned previously, the other processes will not purify a person. Natatahi Agavan Rajan Puyeta. He will not become such purified. Yatha, just as Krishna Arpita Prana, if he dedicates his life for Krishna, if our is like practicing bhakti, is like that person, Tat Purusha Niveshaya, by engaging in service of Krishna's representative, by serving the devotees of the Lord, or by practicing Krishna consciousness, the person will become purified. That much purification will not come by following other processes like tapa and etc. In this way, the supreme glory of practicing devotional service and serving the devotees, how one can be purified, that is mentioned. And also he is saying, Satri Chino hi ayam loke panta kshema akuto bhayah. This path is very, very appropriate path. This path of bhakti. Kshema akuto bhaya. It will completely, fully auspicious. And this path, there is no fear. Akuto bhaya, without fear. Because in this path, we will see Sushila Sadhavo Yatra Narayana Parayana. There are devotees who are dedicated to Lord Narayana, who are Sushila with all the good qualities, well behaved persons, Sadhavo, saintly persons. So, because of their association, he will be easily able to practice devotional service. So, therefore, it is without any fear also. In this way, this path of bhakti is like being glorified. There are nice bhakti is the most auspicious path and also followed by great personalities. And once someone's practicing bhakti, all the good qualities will slowly start appearing in that person. So in this way, these association of devotees also will be there. So therefore, it is like it is like one will be able to, which will make one's free from fear. So therefore, one should follow the path of great Mahajanas or great devotees. So therefore, he will be saved. So in this way, bhakti is the most auspicious path, is saying. But other atonements, which are previously mentioned, prayaschittani, chirnani, even if other atonements very nicely performed, they will, but if they are Narayana Paranmukham, Narayana Paranmukham means if they are averse to Lord Narayana, they are away from the Narayana, that means away from the Lord. So Nanishpananti Rajendra Sura Kumbham Vivapaga. They don't, those prayaschitta, even if they perform for long time very nicely, but if they are averse to Lord Narayana or they are away from Narayana, so they will not nanishpunanti, they will not purify. Example, Sura Kambam Ivapaga. Just like a liquor pot is there, even if one washes that liquor pot with so much water, it will not be purified. So like that, if a person is Narayana Paranmuka, he will not be purified even if he performs atonement. And then finally he says, nice shloka. सकृन्मनः कृष्णपदारविन्दयो निवेशितं तत्पुनरागियैरिह न ते यमं पाशभृतश्च तद्भटां स्वप्ने विपश्यन्ति हि चीर्णनिष्कृताः. So sakrunmanah, if one engages his mind on Krishna Padaravindayo, on the lotus feet of Krishna, even once, Niveshitam Tad Gunaragi Yeriha. he is like completely surrendered that person. And that gunaragi area that he is able to like attach to the qualities of that Lord, that gunaragi area. For that person, even if he one time concentrate on the lotus feet of the Lord and attach to that gunas, he will not Nate Yamam Pasha Bhritascha Tadpatan. He will not see Yamaraj and also his servants. Swapnepi Pashyanti. He will not even see even in dream because he Chena Nishkruta, because he has attained complete atonement. So here it is mentioned that that purification that that purification that a person undergoes by practicing bhakti, it may not be even complete purification. So if he observe his mind even once, that is also sufficient. What to speak of many times he is meditating on the Lord. And what like, if he meditates on the mind, that itself is sufficient. What to speak of one is hearing and chanting the name of the Lord loudly. So and the Tadgunaragi means even if that mind is attached to material things, still when he meditates on the law, that is also sufficient. What to speak when the mind is completely purified and meditating on the Lord. So because such persons have already done Chirna Nishkruta, complete atonement. So therefore, if a like if it is only once, if it is practiced like it is happening, so what to speak of if a devotee is practicing pure bhakti, mm, uh, like uh, if a devotee is practicing pure bhakti, sometimes he commit mistake. So that mistake is not taken very seriously. That mistake is like a if a snake if it bites without any sufferings, those that snake doesn't have any teeth in it. If that snake bites, there will not be any effect with that biting. So similarly, if a devotee seriously practicing, if by mistake he commits sin, that will not have reaction because he is not willingly committing. If he is willingly committing sin, then he will be punished by the Lord only. So, but if he is not willingly by mistake, he is committing out of force of previous habits, if he is committing, so that will not have immediate effect. That also one can understand. So that's why in Gita, Lord says, Abhichet Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananyaba. Even if he is some sinful person, he is worshipping the Lord like, sincerely, he should be considered as a sadhu only. So, in order to mention that in this way, that this is like why it is mentioned that even if a devotee practicing sadhakas, if by mistake they perform some mistake, some sinful activity, some mistake, they need not perform atonement. Their atonement is automatically will be achieved by performing bhakti seriously. So therefore, devotees need not separately practice atonement. Just by that practice of bhakti only will completely purify them. So practicing sadhaka means they are practicing bhakti, but sometimes they have anarthas also. Because of that anartha, if they commit some mistake, they should repent and still practice that bhakti seriously so that he will be rectified. So in this way, he will, but that person will never see Yamapasha, Yamadutas again. In this way, he will be purified. So, in order to say this is like theory, he said, bhakti is higher than karma and jnana. By bhakti, everyone will be purified. Yamadutas he will never see. So, in order to prove all this theory by an example, Shukadeva Goswami starts narrating the life of Ajamil, who chanted the name of Lord Narayana at the time of death. So we will see the case study of Ajamil, how by bhakti he got delivered, even though he is a sinful person. So to prove the efficacy of bhakti, he started narrating this Ajamila story, which will continue in the next time. So stop here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. We end here.
Okay, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.